Keeping venomous reptiles is an unforgiving hobby, requiring proper training and lots of experience. One simple mistake can be the difference between life and death. Remember, the most venomous snake in the world is the one that just bit you. There are no venomous snakes with training wheels. Just because you see viperkeeper handle snakes a certain way does not mean you should try it too.
Alright, it's time to feed our young blue Komodos or Lessor Sunda Island pit vipers. This one, I believe, is a male, but he feeds uncharacteristically well. Now, I don't have to worry about that. He will eat that. This one, another male, you almost have to beat him to death with it. He's not a terribly good feeder, but you know, these were born in 2016. 2017, I have to look it up to be certain. But he's not so interested in food. It's a bit of a pain overall to work with. Good. Yes, as he slowly sinks into the west again. Come on over here. Come on. Come on, get your tail. Oh, come on. This is what it is to deal with any of the Trimysaurus to get them to feed. You got your tail? Look at your tail. It's back over here. Oh, shoot out. Come on. Alright, I'm going to leave it at this point. It's counterproductive. And we'll see if he's pissed enough to eat it. But he's a problem. The other one, no. And it's just the way they sort of are. I mean, this one is a big girl now, and I fed her yesterday, but she does really well. And of course the green rocket in the other room does really, really well. I'm sort of getting ready to think about putting a male with them and breed them. The rest of these guys, the babies, are just sort of iffy. See, there he or she is. With the food half eaten, and this one is still there like, what do you want? Get out of here. So here's the rocket. Big sister's across the way there. Again, another Lessor Sunda Island pit viper, also known as blue Komodos, if you will. Even though they're not supposed to be taking them from the national park, who knows? But this is captive born animal here. I believe its mom is down here in the bottom cage. But she's a couple years old now and has grown up to be a nice young lady, and has outgrown her little hut, so she hides back there in the fake foliage. But I gave her something to eat earlier today, so she went up to sun herself to heat up so she can digest her meal. And in this cage is one of the other males from the same brood. And he's a tough eater. I recently got him to eat, but he is withdrawn into his hut there. He may be going into shed. Normally I've seen him up in the branches here enjoying the tree, but recently I found him in his little hut there. And this girl might be gravid. There's no way of really telling that, but this girl was one of the original 5 or 6 animals that I got when they came in from the wild. She was a terrible eater. She would eat, but only sporadically. And she originally was in with this young male who always is hiding and a very difficult feeder. Hello. She was in with him all the time, and actually he nearly got eaten by her a few times when she decided to eat. I used to call her the racist pit viper because she seemed to only want dark colored mice and never the white ones. But since I separated them and she has really started to come on feed, I think she's trying to nourish some embryos in there because these are live birth. So she's been eating like a pig, which is fine, but you know, I'll control her weight. So we'll see late summertime if she produces some babies. And then down in these cages, we've got what I believe is the mother of Rocket and some of the other ones, and she's quite a good feeder. She hasn't been with a male for a while, and I've thought about bringing that male down and putting him in with her, but I'm not sure the exact breeding cycle. I still may do that, but that's the Rocket's mom. And then we've got another animal over here. She's a really good feeder. I don't think that she's gravid, but I do see a significant scale spread. So we'll see. She may be full of slugs and produce a bunch of slugs. And if she does, well, then I'll get her breeding. You notice I have a lot of these because I'm hoping to get another set of offspring, because there's some zoos in the United States that would like to have these animals for display purposes. However, they didn't want the initial captive animals because, I mean, potentially those animals came from, you know, islands where they weren't supposed to be collected. So they said, we're going to wait for some captive-born animals that were bred here in the U.S. before we accept them, just to keep, you know, along with their charter and everything else. The AZA is a sort of a strange organization. Everything has to be certified as captive born, or we have to know its exact origin and make sure that all the permits and everything are in order. So it's just easier to wait a while and have a captive born generation. And also, any of the surplus I'll put out in for, you know, private collectors to have. And this way we're not taking any animals from the wild. Hopefully that's the whole idea. Once we get some started in the U.S. and have a reasonable population, we're hoping that reduces the number of snakes taken from the wild. So our older male from a couple of years old, captive born here at the lair, squammies. Hello. Oh, that's nice. A nice green male waiting for a female. Yep. Need some water later. And over here we have the animal that was patternless initially. Are you hungry? You are. And he's a nice sort of mottled yellow green sort of background. Another nice male. Give him some water later. Now, so this is the dad to the most recent babies, which I think were born, what, Thanksgiving, Lori?
That sounds about right.
Yeah, they're the last ones born of the year. And just like a typical male, he can be a little bit difficult to entice to eat. Come on. Oh yes, I know, those are fighting words, huh? I prodded you. Come on. He's originally, I think, from Cameroon or Congo. And I've had him for quite a while, and he's been paired with a girl and for a while, and he's always been a reluctant feeder, but always sort of in the end has decided to eat because he can only put up with so much of my pestering. Come on. Again, I feed these guys every other week just to keep their weight trim. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. I know if I stuck my finger out there, you'd bite it. Come on. You know, and I really don't like pestering him, but he needs to eat in order to, at least a little bit, to keep his weight up. Come on. There you go. Why do they do this? You know, some snakes are just absolutely, totally intent on dying. I know it's not, you know, their ideal habitats, but at least go ahead and have some tasty treats once in a while. Now be careful, dude. Don't go near the mouth of the cave because Big Mama's in there. And when there's food present, she is a formidable feeding machine. She just sort of stuffs it in her mouth all at once. So we're going to back off and let this dude sort of quietly eat his food without intervention. Because if you remember, venomous snakes, most of them don't like to have a human around when they have their mouth full, so they can't defend themselves. So some snakes will eat and gobble right away. Others will just wait until I back off. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to back off and let him have a good couple of feeds, and then I'll mark the little calendar up there, and I won't annoy him for another week or two. There, we can see the female's nose and an occasional tongue flick. She knows food is available, so we don't want to have the male right near there because he could be mistaken for something tasty. So we're going to let the guy sort of head into the back there and eat, and I'll thaw one or two other tasty treats. to appease the troll in the cave there. Okay, here we are back at the squam cage, and I'm going to offer something to the female. And as you can see, she is no hesitation, no messing around. Feed me and leave me alone. So these are the babies of the couple that I just fed up there, and we're not exactly sure of the sexes, but they're finally eating reasonably well. There's sort of a bluish green one, and the third one is sort of a greenish one too. Now they just ate earlier, so they're warming up, and I won't disturb them. There was another one, but it ended up not making it. We found it dead one morning. It was feeding really well. These things just happen.